big thing going around is the idea that the Federal Reserve and private banks just make money out of thin air and then expand it like 90 times, according to Zeitgeist. This comes from Ron Paul people, comes from Zeitgeist people. It's Austria. It's one of the general ideas that goes around. While it's true that money does come out of thin air, the reality of it is quite different. Banks lend, and that creates a deposit in a double bookkeeping process. A bank doesn't have to wait until a customer or a central bank makes a deposit. Banks can do this, but they have three primary restrictions. One is interest rates, the cost of borrowing, which is partially set by the Fed. Two, there's required reserves of cash. And three, the required amount of equity capital. And the last two are done through regulation. However, these restrictions influence the profitability of loans, not the quantity of money that's actually created. Keynesians claim that the central bank can control the industrial cycle, or the business cycle in bourgeois economic terms, via monetary policy on the premise that they can control the money supply exogenously via interest rates. According to Marx and many other non-Marxists, this is not the case. Banks, in fact, create money endogenously whenever a capitalist wants to take a loan for production. A capitalist production drives the expansion of credit. Thus, the Fed doesn't have all the power that Keynesians think it does. Marx differs from the bourgeois, including modern monetary theory, by acknowledging the following. Capitalism is a money-based economy. A capitalist takes money capital and uses it to invest in production and commodity capital. Combined with labor power, a product is created producing value which is then exchanged for more money capital upon sale. Banks create credit to facilitate this function, meaning finance capital is not separate from capitalist production. Movements of commodities make demands of money, not the inverse. Simply having money doesn't stimulate the industrial cycle. Money has to be invested in production, which is not occurring. Simply look at the quantitative easing and the whole 3 rounds of it that has been done. Has it been successful? No, because the money is being created but not invested. This proves true across the first world. The balance sheets of central banks have grown, but bank credit has not. The money multiplier for the same period also confirms this to be true. Now, the money multiplier is the ratio of money created by banks to central bank money. Yes, private banks expand money beyond what the central bank creates. I'm not denying this. This data shows us that more money was printed, but that the banks haven't expanded it by loaning it out. Keynesians call this a liquidity trap. Aggregate demand decreases as people hoard money and banks stop lending. No matter what, no matter how cheap you make it to loan with controlled interest rates and other policies, etc., it will not initiate a recovery. Many agree with this position that it won't. Marx is one of them, because he knows that banks won't create credit if capital accumulation has slumped. Capital accumulation is what drives the creation of credit, entering into production to produce commodities. Simply printing money doesn't work. Money has to move. You can print that money, but you can't force people to borrow it, and you can't force banks to lend it out to people who don't want it, or there's no demand for those loans. And that's why, despite all of this printing of money, the economy hasn't really recovered.
Thank you for watching. Please comment and rate the video. If you liked it, hit subscribe or check out some of these other great videos. If you wish, share it on social media. While you're at it, why don't you follow me on Twitter? And if you got time, go on over to the MRN bookstore and check out some of the latest books available.